Left-Wing Kingz. Listen, think, act, repeat.
On July 30th, Meghan Thee Stallion hopped on stage and worked it out at a rally in Atlanta for Kamala Harris. Nowadays, celebrity endorsements like these are common, but why do these endorsements matter and how do they influence others? Let's break it down, giving these people that are watching this live stream, are 5 key reasons. So reason number 1, name recognition. Celebrities often have a significant influence because of their established name recognition and the trust that they build with their audience. Steve, I know that name recognition works when you're like selling products or putting people in commercials and whatnot, but does name recognition secure votes too?
Yes, it does for people who are low information voters. If you don't know a lot about either candidate, okay, and somebody that you like, that you admire says, hey, I'm going to vote for this person, then that makes you look at that person. Okay? Now, I feel like if you're an informed voter, no, it doesn't matter.
Well, yeah, I mean, a few years ago, early 2000s, to say, they had what they called Rock the Vote, right? They get number of celebrities up there and they throw a big concert and they would, talk about celebrities who they want to vote for. So I think that you hit the nail on the head when you said low-informed voters. That's a nice way of saying uneducated voter. But people who don't really pay attention to politics or whatever the case may be, they may be a little more influenced to maybe by a celebrity voter at that particular time. For instance, I had a little thing with Cardi B because like few months ago, she was on Breakfast Club talking about she's not going to vote for anybody and was going in on Biden and whatnot, and line why he didn't want to do it. Well, she's an influencer. And it made me mad because I think sometimes they don't understand how influential they are, especially if you got all these TikTok voters, because there are a lot of people that listen to Cardi B and it might just say, well, Cardi B said this on Breakfast Club, so this is the way I'm going. Or I'm not going to go vote at all.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Which is also a vote, a way to influence it. So, yeah, I think it can. Depending on who the person is, change the mindset of some voters and be somewhat effective. So,
and I think that it goes right back to Steve's point. Like, those are people who are like, there's people out there who don't give a fuck about politics.
Yeah.
But they love Cardi B. And they're more likely to watch Cardi B and hear what she says and then vote based on that rather than watching CNN or reading a website, USA Today, that talks about the platforms of the voters and how they're going to impact them. They just, they see an interview with Cardi B, and because they like her music, they watch that video on YouTube. They don't watch no other shit. So to your point, they don't understand the power that they have sometimes, but that's all driven by the media. So that's reason number 2, media coverage. So celebrity endorsements can generate substantial media coverage, bringing more visibility to a candidate's campaign, amplifying the candidate's messaging, and reaching a broader audience. So, Ace, how have the presidential candidates leveraged celebrity endorsements to gain additional media coverage today?
Oh, shoot. I mean, it's a lot of ways. I mean, come on. We just did at the RNC. It's not a mistake they had Amber Rose on there because she's an influencer and she's going to influence a lot of the like you said, the people who's going to vote for.
The OnlyFans crowd, boy.
That $40 crowd. You know what I'm saying? Then on the same take, they had Hulk Hogan up there. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know who's still listening to the Hulk brother, but you know what I'm saying? But he got up there and did his thing, and so yeah, I mean, it's not a secret that these celebrity endorsements, help out, can help influence some presidents, at least keep them popular and get them media coverage that they need. You know what I'm saying? So, and both sides, you've seen them, try to, lean on celebrities. George Clooney, on that side, and then I mean, I remember in the good old days when Bruce Willis was around, he was a big advocate of politics. So Matthew McConaughey, you know what I'm saying? So, yeah, the presidents will lock arms with these guys and use them. I mean, even though we look at the Obamas as being political, they're somewhat celebrities now. So when they endorse even though we know going to probably endorse a Democratic president, but when Biden was going through his deal and the Obamas was really kind of like, hey, I don't know yet if we're going to endorse him and say whatever. That was affecting them. You know what I'm saying? As soon as they talking about, all right, okay, we're behind Harris, that affected them with the base. You know what I'm saying? And vice versa, same thing on the right. So,
yeah, I think there's a problem with celebrity endorsements because when you have a celebrity and they're endorsing, what type of information is it that the celebrity actually has?
Yeah.
Because so often I'll hear celebrities say, celebrities, when I hear black celebrities say that they're voting for a Republican, they'll say, well, Democrats haven't done anything for us. And then my question becomes, have you looked at the Democratic senators' voting records as far as issues that concern black people? Have you looked at the Democratic Congress record as far as issues that protect or help black people? They always vote for us.
Mm-hmm.
It's the Republicans that don't vote for us.
Yeah.
So if you want to blame somebody, blame the Republicans and blame the communities that are so apathetic that they don't go out and vote for their own interests, because we should have more Democratic senators in places like Mississippi, places like Alabama, places like North and South Carolina, because there's so many black folk.
Yeah.
And the white people that are there, Mississippi is a poor state. And these congressmen and senators from Mississippi aren't doing anything for their constituents.
Yeah.
So they're voting, and I'm not, and at this point, I'm not talking about white people. I mean, black people. I'm talking about white people. They're voting to have somebody put their foot on their back. Mm-hmm. You're voting to have to struggle. You're voting so you don't have a proper education. You're voting so that if you need public assistance, it is more difficult for you. And a lot of times when you're talking about celebrities, they're still looking up here. They're not looking on the ground to see why these things are happening. Mm-hmm. So I think a lot of times when you're looking at a celebrity endorsement, you got to ask, okay, does this person know what they're talking about?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I agree with that, but I also will say that a lot of the celebrities came from where we came from. You know what I'm saying? Like, a lot of these cats came from like humble beginnings. So you're right. There's some who haven't, and you got to really look at the person and say, okay, so what level are you talking about? Are you talking about you endorsing this person because now you're a millionaire? Or do you care about where you came from? Do you remember that shit and know that there are people out there in your family and in other families and communities that need help from the politicians and whatever platform that they're pushing forward to try to initiate change in our country? But there's some people who, to your point, like, they coming at it from a whole different level. So when you talk about Hulk Hogan,
mm-hmm.
I don't know if Hulk Hogan came from where I came from. I don't know his story. But I would, to your point, I need to look at that and figure it out. Like I would think that he probably didn't come from humble beginnings. I may be wrong, right? Mm-hmm. And if he did come from humble beginnings, maybe he just forgot about that shit. And now he's rich and he don't give a fuck about humble beginnings. He's like, I need the Republicans to stay in this motherfucker to keep me in my cash and stop breaking down my taxes money.
Yeah, I think that's where it comes from a lot of times when you're talking to some of these celebrity endorsements, especially black celebrities and rappers or whatever that 10 years ago they didn't have a pot to piss in. All of a sudden they got a little change, and then the problem is when they're talking about their vote or whatever and influencing, they're not coming from any education.
Right.
Yeah.
They're saying it more on a popular thing. So I think a lot of people, especially when they came to endorsing Trump, was just doing it because his name was out there.
Right.
Yeah.
And so they can kind of, and they knew that was kind of, and I always say this, you got black people that I'm just going to do it to be different. I'm just do it because they get that, we all been in the room with white people and you're the only black person. Hey, man, you different than the other ones, man. You one of the good ones. And then, you know what I'm saying? We get that speech.
Yeah.
We already know, and most of us know that's a set up speech. You know what I'm saying? But some of these people believe that.
Yeah.
And so then they start turning towards things that don't even make sense for their own people, like
Yeah.
Endorsing shit that they think like, oh, I'm different, and they don't see color. You know what I'm saying? All that bullshit. You know what I'm saying? And they start turning towards it. And I think a lot of celebrities get caught up on that on the black side, start talking, and once they open their mouth, Stacey Dash, you got to stick with it. You know what I'm saying? Now you know you look crazy.
Yeah.
Well, some people don't see color, but I see the color of that like button.
Yeah.
So I need y'all to go ahead and click on that like button if you like the content that you're seeing, and also make sure
Blue
that you
sleeve, white finger.
subscribe to Left Wing Kingz. Share this content on all of your social media platforms out there. So let's go ahead and talk about reason number 3 that celebrity endorsements work, and that's emotional connections. So celebrities often evoke strong emotional connections with their fans. When they endorse a candidate, they can tap into these emotions, making the political message more relatable and compelling. Ace, can emotional appeal motivate voters to support a candidate they might not have considered? And have any celebrities got all up in your political emotions?
Well, no, not yeah. No, but then yes. I mean, I think that some people can, some celebrities may invoke some emotion. I think that's like a reason that they were mad at Taylor Swift. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Because I think she has a powerful fan base, the Swifties, and I think that dwells in emotion. I think she's one person that I think come on, look at the NFL. Next thing you know, she said, she started going to the NFL, and next thing you know, they got Swiftie jerseys and all kinds of shit going on. And, every Sunday she's in the press box. So that emotional connection can be affected if you're a hardcore fan like that. I think some people will just be like, yeah. I mean, I think if, Prince was still alive and Prince endorsed somebody, Steve be all up in it. You know what I'm saying?
I don't know about that.
Yeah, I guarantee you, if Prince was like endorsing Trump, Steve would give him a second look. You know what I'm saying? Like, we're gonna slow down for a minute. You know what I'm saying? Like, let Prince make a song about Trump. That nigga would be like, let me consider this. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying?
Shit.
But in the case in point, yeah, if you're a fan like that, to where you're like that, where you deep, then yeah, that emotional connection to that person can affect that. I just ain't a fan of nobody like that to the point where they're going to affect my vote personally. You know what I'm saying? So.
Yeah. And I also, when I look at celebrity votes, even if I'm a fan, I'm a Mike Tyson fan.
Oh, yeah.
However, Mike Tyson is friends with Donald Trump. I got friends. There's no way I'd want them near the White House, not even close, not even a little bit. Okay? And so when he says, oh, well, Donald's cool to you. Right. You beat that motherfucker's ass. The culture is cool to you. Shit. Yeah. Look, he ain't going to say nothing crazy to you. He ain't going to say nothing crazy around you.
Nah.
Okay? But, when you look at his housing practices and everything, look, he wasn't helping people who look like Mike Tyson. So,
nope.
I do think that emotional connections, especially with people who like Taylor Swift, is very influential with young people. I think that's a big deal. I think when you have, again, like in the early 2000s, when you have the Rock the Vote, that's good for getting young people to vote. Okay, so I don't think for people our age, not so much.
Yeah, I mean, I'll take one case in point. I'm a big fan of Herschel Walker. I was a fan of him when he ran at Georgia, and then the cowboy trade. He was a cowboy for a minute. Go Cowboys. You know what I'm saying?
Oh.
Yeah, I got that in on you. And but I was not gonna vote for that fool. No way, no how. You know what I'm saying? This was not gonna happen. Yeah, but if Herschel Walker was back there, behind the quarterback about to get the ball, yeah, that was my dude. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think that we old heads, we got our guy, we got Prince, we got, Herschel Walker, but some of these younger voters get mobilized by some of these celebrity endorsements out there. So that's reason number 4. if you get a celebrity in your back pocket, like the Swifties, you can mobilize some of these younger voters. So younger voters in particular are heavily influenced by celebrities and social media influencers. So these endorsements can energize and mobilize this demographic, encouraging them to participate in the political process. So helping out with, voter apathy. And that goes to you, Steve. With voter apathy on the rise right now, how much of an impact will celebrity endorsements have on increasing voter turnout among younger generations?
You know where I think it is good to have a celebrity voter? If you have a celebrity voter who is educated, but can speak to a different constituency than, and people who might not necessarily want to vote.
Right.
Like Meghan Thee Stallion.
Mm-hmm.
Meghan Thee Stallion. And Meghan Thee Stallion is young, just got a bachelor's degree, worked hard to get her bachelor's degree while she was doing hip hop.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? So she's a grinder, she's a worker, but she's a very intelligent young lady.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? Somebody like that, young people will listen to, because I know one of my best friends that I grew up with, her kids are like, do you know Meghan Thee Stallion went to Texas Southern just like you did? I said, guess she did.
Mm-hmm.
So they look at her, they look at what she's doing. They know that she has an education. They know her story. So they look at her as a person who is intelligent. And if you're looking at somebody and you see this person is an intelligent person, then I think that does make a difference. Now, I don't necessarily think if you look at somebody and you don't view them as an informed person, that it's going to make as big of a difference.
Yeah, no, you're exactly right. Yeah, and going back to just voter apathy, you're absolutely right. It's a lot to motivate young people to kind of get out and vote. It's either going to be like something like they're just really strong, like in the Palestine thing, to where that's really something that's affecting them. Or like you said, you have celebrities younger that they can relate to now start talking about it and getting out to where they're at, like hitting home where they're at, TikTok or wherever they're going to be at. So I think Meghan Thee Stallion, like you said, it didn't do anything for us technically to enhance our votes or anything of that nature. We enjoyed the show, but other than that, But younger people may vibe to it and now get in it. They might now have the motivation to go out, let's vote and let's be a part of that, because Meghan is now using her intelligence to kind of talk towards the reasons why they need to make sure they get out there and vote and stuff. So I actually see that.
And I really do wish that when we did have celebrity endorsers, that they gave a little bit more substance as to why they're voting for this person. And for instance, with Amber Rose, when she said, oh, well, Donald Trump isn't a racist. Okay, well, if he's not a racist, why does he have a history of doing racist shit?
Yeah. I don't know.
I mean, because, it's kind of like one of those things. I'm like, oh, okay, well, maybe. I mean, you got some black friends. You was friends with Samuel L. Jackson. He said he wasn't voting for you, though.
Yeah.
You friends with Mike Tyson. You friends with Herschel Walker. But you do a lot of racist shit, partner. You do a lot of racist shit. So I can't rock with that. So when she went on RNC and said, he's not a racist, I was like, you see what he said about the Central Park Five, and didn't and even if with the Central Park Five, he had taken that back, said, you know what, I said that in a moment of anger. I was just, I was caught up in the moment. And yeah, I put out that ad, but the DNA has come out and it showed that they're not guilty. You know what? I'm sorry about that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He ain't do that.
No.
He said they're still guilty.
Yeah.
He said they're still guilty. I don't care. They're still guilty. He did the same thing. Anytime it's something with black folk, like I said,
it's bad.
It's bad. It's bad housing,
And to me, he just sound dumb. Because DNA don't lie. That just makes you sound real dumb when DNA comes out, proves
hey, you got
you
the
didn't
DNA,
do it,
you got the DNA, but now y'all are still wrong.
Yeah, you still did it.
Yeah, y'all still did it. They still did it.
And just like it ain't like Trump did some shit like years ago. Like he keeps saying racist shit like recently. You know what I'm saying?
Shithole
Like,
countries.
yeah.
He said people
Last
run
week,
shithole
like last
countries.
week,
Yes.
Last week.
in front of a group
front
of
of
black
group
people, he
of-
did some racist shit.
I
You know
wonder
what
how
I'm
he got the fuck up out of there.
Black
That shit
job.
had me laughing, man.
Like what? Like and that's the killer part about it. And then don't hit me with the. I like people who like hit me with the. Well, Biden did this in the 70s. Like
Yeah, in the 60s,
and-
in the
and-
70s, yeah.
maybe he did, but recently, like
Yeah.
this dude's doing recent racial shit in
Yeah.
2024.
Yeah.
Like you still ain't figured out the narrative. At least most racists now kind of know how to hide it. Like you still don't even know how to hide this shit.
Not at all. He didn't
He
even try.
says black like a fucking racist. Yeah.
Yeah, the blacks.
The blacks. He's black. He says, yeah.
Yeah, I don't like nothing about him. But at the end of the day, man,
The blacks.
yeah,
Black
public
jobs.
opinion is big around like when Amber Rose got out there and she was like, there could be some uninformed voters because she's a celebrity and she says Trump's not a racist. She could
Yep.
sway them to think that he's not a racist. Now, because they're uninformed, right? Like, or just I don't know, they just don't believe the shit, right? Because there are plenty of people who know what he's done and know what he said, and they still don't believe he's a racist. But someone like Amber Rose getting out there and saying something like that can help shape public opinion, and that's reason number 5, shaping public opinion. So celebrities have the power to shape public opinion, and they have the power to set trends. Their endorsements can legitimize a candidate and sway undecided voters. So Ace, how have celebrity endorsements shaped how the candidates are perceived by the public?
Oh, you hit the nail on the head. If I'm an uninformed voter and, I look at TikTok or OnlyFans, whichever your cup of tea is, Amber Rose may be very influential in other ways. And, she may just say, hey, like you say, Trump's not a racist. I'm starting to hear the rhetoric and starting to believe it. And then, so she's going to influence me to believe that outside of, because I don't look at CNN. I don't know that he talked to the black journalist last week and just was all over the place. I didn't look at the debate to see that he said black jobs, but I was on OnlyFans, and OnlyFans played Amber Rose at the RNC, where she said he's not a racist. So now I'm influenced that. I heard that there. So now I go to work or whatever. I'm talking to a guy who's saying he is racist. Now I'm going to argue on that point. You know what I'm saying? Even though I ain't got no information, but I heard Amber Rose say it. You know what I'm saying? That's where the uninformed stuff comes in. And a lot of people, unfortunately, this day and age, that's how they get their news. They get their news through memes and posts and short interviews with celebrities. Or maybe they go on the Breakfast Club or a podcast or something. That's where they get their news. They don't go the formal way. They don't turn on CNN and look at it all day. They look at their phones most of the time. When something pops up real quick, they'll see it. Well, most of these influencers are out there. Just like the situation with Meghan Thee Stallion. I might not look at the news, but Meghan Thee Stallion, if you follow on Instagram, all the Instagram posts had her what? Dancing on the stage at Harris's thing. So now I'm influenced to the point where, I might want to pay attention to this Harris thing, or maybe I might just want to vote for Harris because I saw it on Meghan Thee Stallion's post. That's how they influence the uninformed, and that can be powerful.
Yeah. No doubt. And I also think that it can be powerful, but I sometimes what I wonder is when you have somebody who doesn't really care about politics, right? And they're looking at what's going on in their life. Are they really going to go out and vote though? I think you really have to be a really big star and have a large fan base to really make a difference. I think somebody like Taylor Swift, I think you have to be an icon.
Yeah.
Taylor Swift is a pop icon at this point. She is. Okay, somebody like that is going to make a difference. Little whoever or little this or little that, they ain't going to make a difference. Probably.
Oh yeah.
Maybe even Lil Wayne. Lil Wayne supported Trump. Nobody went to listen to Lil Wayne. Look,
Yeah,
they was like, Lil Wayne don't know what he's talking about anyway.
Lil Wayne don't even know Lil Wayne. He look at him. He's high as hell.
Yeah, but again,
He don't support himself.
Yeah. So I think it depends on how you look at the person. People look at Lil Wayne. They were, you don't know what he's talking about anyway.
Yeah.
I saw Lil Wayne one time. He had on like some women boots and a skirt on. Like he just all over the place.